Hello, hello. Welcome back. Um, so I am very somber right now because God has been doing a work in me. Like he's really been taking over every thought I've ever had and holding it captive and testing me on every word I've ever said. Uh, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for every single trial, every single test, because of Christ, because of forgiveness. I'm grateful for every single trial and every single test. But it's been hard nonetheless. Okay, it's been hard nonetheless. So I was sitting and God told me to go back and watch all of the videos that we had done over the past 3 years. He said, "You've lost sight of your path." And I went, okay, it's hard to go. Let me just be honest with you guys. It's hard to watch your own video. It really, really, really is hard. Okay. And it's hard to restudy the same thing. It's really hard. So he told me I had to. Now, look at the miracle in this, the beauty in this. My neighbor was helping me after my dad died, and I finally came back to some type of reality, like able to get up again. My neighbor was helping me clean out the basement, right? Uh, and so while we were doing that, I remember throwing away the notebook that I had put most of the notes in. Okay. I remember throwing away that notebook. Well, long story short, thank God I threw away that notebook because throwing away that notebook is what forced me to go back and watch these videos. Okay. Um, I hope y'all stay with me. They're funny. Oh my goodness. Here's another thing that you can see. You can see where God brought us from to where we are now. And one of the things I promise to do is try to get back to that level of security. That level of security. Many of you, let's do like a reintroduction, right? So my name is Wisdom. I started this channel with Faithful back, I don't know when, but it feels like a lifetime ago, but it wasn't that long ago. Honestly, it wasn't that long ago. I want to say 3 years at the most, maybe two and a half, right? So I started this channel with my best friend Faithful. She's the lady in the video, right? She witnessed, how did we become best friends? She witnessed the day that God told me the end was not near, it was here. And it was like she witnessed this. So for a moment there, it was like she was the only person that believed me. And I began to change drastically because of what had happened to me on January 8th, 2019. Okay. And then I started calculating the dates, right? Let wisdom calculate the dates. But I could see patterns in dates. So, anyways, time moved on. Then you can see how we began to get notoriety. Like people began to know us. We had a group going. But then you also saw the persecution come. You could see it in the way we would talk before, and like the freeness of our speech before. It was like no hurry along. It was literally like, okay, just be free in God. And Faithful was free in God. It was beautiful. That's why I said this video right here, I'm not gonna lie, made me cry a little bit. I was literally watching it, and all I could do was hang my head and say, I'm sorry, God. I am so, so sorry that I let anything take me from, well, I won't say take from, because I'm not taking anywhere from. As you see, look, I'm painting. I can't wait to tell you guys the prophetic paintings on the walls. God has been, he literally taught me how to paint from visions. Like they're so burned into my brain that I could actually paint them, and I couldn't paint it all. But back at the beginning, this is the crazy thing. At the beginning of us being a part, having this show, when we saw the MOB, the Mark of the Beast was coming, we said you're going to have to become entrepreneurial, right? And at that point, I was like, I don't know, God telling me to paint. I can't paint a lick. So I was gonna do just abstract painting and see what happened. I don't know. So I was moving by faith because I could not paint at all. I just heard him say paint. And when I tell you, hold on, wait, let me just do this real quick. When I tell you the things that he has had brought forth, just blows my mind. So it's all recorded right here. That's the thing I noticed. It was all recorded right here. And not about me. No, 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 no. About what he was trying, the message. What was he trying to get across? Why were we willing, we're not monetized, we don't make a dime off of this. This is literally like the birthing, like God himself put something inside you, like he put a campaign in you, and then it got like, it's like, you gotta push. That's what this whole YouTube video has been. But God showed me it was a record. It was a record of every prophecy he ever said. So he made me go through and put a date on each one. Hey, hello, hello. Christina Faith, hello. So he made me go through. I'm trying to get back to, hey, so I'm so glad that you're there. But and put a date on each one of the prophecies that came true. So this video might be a little bit long, but you're going to see some real meat and potatoes. We're about to take a look into the past. Put on your fangirl hat and let's take a look into the past, because these videos were done, I believe, let's look when this one was. This one was March 22nd of 2020. Hold on, I want to make sure, is that 2020 or was it 2021? I gotta just, you'll see it. Oh, it's 2020. Okay, so this was March 7th of 2020. Okay, March 7th of 2020. Let's go back in time and remember what happened. On March 16th of wait. I'm getting so it had to be 21. Please excuse me. We'll look. The title is Prophetic Word, it's 2021. It's right there on the screen. It's right there on the screen. Okay, it's 2021. Because on March 16th of 2020, that was when I said the white horse of Revelations has just rolled. I said conquer. God said conquer. I'm not going to say I said. I'm not going to be scared by anyone to stop saying God said, because this is proof he said. I ain't that smart. I ain't that smart. Come on, y'all. I'm sitting here wearing the cowgirl hat and hood as I could be with my windows boarded up. Come on now, no. So with that part being said, I ain't that smart. God said, what did God say? I'm sorry. I'm just I'm so full. I've had to seclude myself. But God has really been showing us play by play what was coming, how to survive it. Like, it was amazing. So long story short, let's just get started. I ain't gonna keep talking. I'm rambling. This ain't even for me. This is for Miss Faithful. That's it. We're going to go back in the past and see what happened back then, knowing the end of the story right now. That's what we're going to do. Okay. A minute. Wait, let me get my number just in case. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Hey. Hello. Hello. Hello, everyone. Hi. Wow. We have missed you guys. We have missed
this too.
Oh, wait, I gotta tell you this. I gotta give you some context for any new listeners that have not been here. Let me give you some context of what was going on at that time. You gotta know this. So this is March 7th, 2021. On January 20th, which I had been yelling out to everyone, it's going to be a bad, bad day. I thought the economy was going to fall on that day. I thought, like something January 6th type thing was going to happen on that. I mean, so January 6th happened. But I thought something like January 6th was going to happen on January 20th. So I didn't even go back to my job because of that. Long story short, on January 20th, I found out that my husband was, it's so hard to say, molesting my daughter. That's just the truth. Dang, ain't that rough? That's rough. So this video right here is the first video me coming back after the devastation of finding out that basically this demon had, found my life. Okay, so this is what we're coming back from there. So there's the context. Okay. It became a serious moment to come be with my sister Faithful. As you guys know, I've been having a very rough time, been under some serious attacks, but God himself said, wait a minute, you're not by yourself. Right. Go to your girl Faithful. That's right. And he told us to give this message to help everyone make it through the tribulation itself. Yes. So we want to tell you, hey, welcome back. Yes. To the Faithful Wisdom Warrior Show.
And I am, no, you say,
it's your girl Wisdom.
And your girl Faithful.
Yes.
And we are just so happy to be here. Now, I do want to say, before we even start, our phone is
all the way over there.
Right. So we're not able to see your comments. But as they come in, yes, we saw hearts and love signs and hey and all of these things. So we just want to give you guys kisses and virtual hugs, while we're going through this, okay? So just know that we love you and we
do this for you.
Yes, happy to be here.
So happy to be here together,
Together, right?
And when I say the adversary, right? Because God told us don't call the devil an enemy. He ain't enemy. But the adversary has been very busy. I'm actually going through a trial in my life. I didn't make it through 2020 with all of the people in my household with me. I'm actually having to fight some serious battles. But at the same point, we do this for you.
Yes.
It's like...
Yes. And see how God is actually bringing us through, and I'm sure that you all are going through personal problems, issues, challenges. You all are doing it too, but look at how faithful God is to bring us through, bring us together. He is truly gathering his people together.
Yes.
Isn't
he? Yes, he is. We were at the store. Let me tell y'all something. So we went to dinner together before we did this video. And we're going to try to fast forward and find through it. I don't want to miss all these nuggets, but the major one, there is a place in this video where I say the red horse will ride after March 16th because of what they're doing, right? And Russia hit Ukraine on March 22nd, but of 22. You get what I'm saying? So we said it back in 2021 that on or after that day, that's when the red horse will ride, right? But there's some nuggets in this, and it's such good nostalgia. I miss my girl. I miss the greenness that we, like we were just moving towards trying to do what God put on our hearts. Um, yeah. So let me move forward. I just gotta. There was a lady, like God had just gave me the chariot, right? Literally, just gave me the chariot. You know what? Let's play it. I'm gonna be patient. If y'all could be patient, I'm gonna be patient. But just play. I'm gonna play it for a little bit, but then I'm gonna try to go fast forward, okay? Because a lot of y'all like the story about the chariot, right? So I don't want to mess that up. So that way you could. And I still got the chariot, and I still got the house. I'm still here in this beautiful moment that I was afraid of back then, because I just found all that out and didn't have a job, right? All right, so let's play. Let's press play. No, 60, late 60s. And I have a Dodge Challenger GT.
Totally like nothing that it's beautiful. I never even pictured her in a car. I could not believe when she pulled up in that car.
Well, that's the way I had to get my power back after everything that happened. And but yeah, that's my little angel chariot.
Yes.
I told her when we bought the car, well, when I bought the car, I'm single now, but when I bought the car, I said, this is my angel's chariot that's a thug. Right. That's how I feel every day. I feel like an angel that's a little thuggy dog. So when the lady came up and like she was like in her 60s, like, I have one, be safe. You gotta go to the drag race spot. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, there's a club for this. But I knew that it was God saying, we're going to be mellow, that, wisdom, that we're going to, that love is real and people gravitate towards love. So it was a good moment. It was a good moment.
He sent her. He sent her. He really did.
He really did, because we're like not in a neighborhood where 60-year-old white ladies walk up to you. We're not, but she did. She was just like, hey, I like your car. I was like, okay. Okay, I see her hand towards it.
4 horsemen, and can you just elaborate on that a little bit about what you're hearing from him and what he's saying?
Yes, there we go. Okay, so God always told. Now it's no wonder, guys. We are in the tribulation, right? We are definitely here, but God said, a lot of these people are looking for signs in the sky. God said there won't be a sign in the sky. He said, let wisdom calculate the dates, right? He said there will be signs, right? Literally. He said there will be signs, right, in the heavens, but that doesn't, you can't use the signs in the heavens to calculate the dates. That's why no one knows what day or time, right? Because it's an event-driven kind of thing, right? So he told me about the 4 horsemen. Okay, so that's important. I want to apologize to all of you, and we'll get there further, but no one does know the dates. And if you get caught up in a story, sometimes you'll get carried away. But God has said it always back, even before March, that you could never use their magic to calculate his dates. And that's the truth. We waited for the 3 days of darkness, and it looked so real. It really did look so real, and it may still be real, but God always said, even back then, you don't have to worry about cataclysm. I got cataclysm because I got you. But he said, here's the things you do have to worry about, these 4 horsemen, right? Which are conquer, war, scarcity, and then the pale death. So we ain't even got to scarcity yet. So I jumped the gun. Sometimes it's hard when you can see. Hello. I know, I love my hat. Howdy. But sometimes it's hard when you can see these far out, you can see God's rhythm, what he's telling you, because you will jump the gun. But he does say these things go in order. They go in succession, is what he said back then. He said literally conquer, war, scarcity. And that's exactly what has happened. Okay, let's get back to it. I'm sorry, guys. I hope you're still there. I hope I'm not messing it up. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong thing. Hope I don't mess it up. And how they ride in succession, right? So the first horse rode, that was Conquer, right? That was on March 16th, 2020. Okay, that's when we first got our first dose of lockdown, that it was even possible.
Right.
I know that.
Do that all over the world.
Right. And I know that because March 16th is my son's birthday. And they said starting at 6 p.m. that night, right, everyone was going to stay in their homes for 14 days, right? Yeah. And this rolling lockdown type of life has occurred ever since. That's important, y'all. So, and I can't go past that. That's important. Did you hear how it was 317? Okay, 317 for 14 days. That's 777, right? So that's the day they did that. And remember that calendar he gave, right? I got it on the wall. I'll show it to you guys when I go through the wall. But it showed that 3 was the opposite of 9 or September. March is the direct opposite of September. Okay, so that's just very important to know. Okay, that's showing you guys where we came from, meaning we see their magic. It's not if we're wondering if their magic is real. I hope you see their magic, because that's exactly when they put us all under Conquer. The opposite of the lunar concept. You get what I'm saying? So I hope you're studying enough to understand what I'm saying. Okay. Said we're coming up on that anniversary, right? And God told me about their holidays, if you guys have been watching for a long time, you'll know that God told me that their holidays are all ritual, magic, witchery type days. And
that we are not privy to.
We don't, right.
But they definitely are. They're following some sort of schedule, calendar, plan to a T.
To a T. Yeah. To a T. So with that being said, so the white horse has rode, Conquer, right? Because we're saying this to you so that no one fools you.
Right.
I've been led to astray and fro, but God always seems to bring us back to exactly what he said in the beginning. In the beginning.
Yes, always.
In the beginning.
That is so true.
That's why I stopped watching other people's videos, because I needed to follow what God said, because that gets rough where he told you something, then you're like, oh, what about this?
Somebody else. And then also, I have to interject. Please, if you have never done, read your Bible like you have never done before. That and that's what I do want to. I'm so glad you mentioned about those videos. You guys really, videos are nice, but they are no substitute for God's word. Remember,
no substitute.
He will not be mocked. He will not share his glory, his throne. He will not share any of it with anybody. And so you have to read his word. And his word says to study to show thyself approved. Right? So you have to study, because when I study, I'm showing myself approved. But you can't get in on my study. You cannot. And that's like me going to college for 4 years, and I'm studying like a scholar, and then it's time to get the job, and you believe you are going to get the job because I went to college? Right. No, it doesn't
No,
work that
you
way.
gotta read that Bible
You
for
do.
yourself.
You really do.
I'm blown away by how much, like, I remember I started off as a person, I wasn't even a Christian when we started this video, or at least I never told anybody I was, right?
Yourself one.
Right, I never considered the title. I am faithfully, proudly a Christian now, okay? Because now I've studied this Bible on another level, objectively, without the spirit of religion, because I didn't grow up in the church, right? To the point where I'm just blown away by how much of it I can recite on my own. I have the sword of God living in my mouth now, you know, like in my heart.
In your heart.
I can literally say it.
He said that it would be, right? He promised that if we would read, he would hide his word in our hearts and in our.
That's important. That is Psalms 119, verse 11. But matter of fact, let me stop real quick and read that whole thing to you. That's important to know, okay? Psalms 119, verse 11. That is so important. Because we are there. This is the past. This is totally the past. And now looking at the outcome of God's word being hidden inside of us, meaning we can't help but do what he said. Or, you know, even when we're being carried off, something's going to raise up and say no, because his word is buried within our hearts. Okay, so it is Psalms 119. Hold on, wait, what is it? Verse 11. Your word I have hidden in my heart that I might not sin against you. You know what? Let's read a little bit further up. How can a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed according to your word. With my whole heart I have sought you. Oh, let me not wander from your commandments. Your word I have hidden in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. Blessed are you, O Lord. Teach me your statutes. With my lips I have declared all the judgments of your mouth. I have rejoiced in the way of your testimony as much as in all riches. It's important to say, in this video, my best friend, who just watched me go through serious devastation, who, my husband was, in jail at that point. He had took my car. It was a crazy situation. Well, it's a lot. You watch the video. So all that had just happened, right? Why do I keep losing my train of thought? Because we know what's going on. We know what's going on. It's last word it said was in as in all of the riches. At that point, I don't have a job. I don't even know. Like, by faith, I took the car that they gave me when, you'll see it. But by faith, I made that move. But it was because hidden in my heart, God said, if you act a fool and go over there and try to take the car back from the man and all that stuff, yeah, you'll get your car back, but it won't be perfect. But if you let me do it, that's exactly what God said back then. It's going to be perfect. Not only did I get the car of my dreams, it's got red accents as if it got cherries on top. And 2 years later, with no job, I still got that car and this house. So I'm just saying, and I know it's because his word was hidden in me. There was certain things I knew not to do to people, or certain ways I knew not to act, or you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that to boast about me. And I think that's what's come about. Too many accusings of boasting about yourself. No, I'm a teacher. God told me to use my life and tell it honestly in order to teach, so that as like a parable, so that way, if you're in that situation, hold true to God, hold true to him, hold on to his unchanging hand through it, and listen to him and believe him. Because you even though it's the worst time of your life, you could still come out on top. And with a cute hat. Real talk. This is looking into the past, you know? Okay.
Minds. And so now, because remember, there's going to come a time that we're not going to have Bibles. We're not even going to have Bibles.
It's going to be outlawed. When you hear this prophetic word that we're about to give you, there's going to come a time when actually worshiping God freely without dogma will be outlawed.
Yeah. And so you have to know it. You have to know it. So we're going to talk about, some ways for you to do that and some ways for you to teach your family, that type of thing. Okay. So we'll
So the red horse, right? Back to the red horse.
Back to the red
So
horse.
the white horse rode 16, but the first full day was 3/17 of last year. 3/17 is coming up again, which it is also directly in the middle of the year from Yom Kippur to Yom Kippur. Is that
Actually,
right?
it was Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. I was wrong on that one.
9/16.
Well, but it is
Right?
directly in the middle of Rosh
So
Hashanah to Rosh
it's the
Hashanah.
direct middle point, right? So with that being said, like, wow, who knew that? From 9/16/2020 to 9/16/2021 is directly in the middle is 3/17. So with that being said,
Oh, I got another one for you.
yeah,
Y'all gonna like the fact, y'all gonna like I'm pausing there. And guess what else I found out was directly in the middle of something. Oh, and that's another thing. Let me just say this. I'm sorry. I jump around a lot because I got severe ADHD. And I could hear God. Flat out, I could hear him. But you remember the Great Eclipse, right? Remember the Great Eclipse. It was on, I have it on the wall over here. I don't know if you can see it. Okay? That's also with that calendar that I was telling you about with the colors on the bottom. Okay? But y'all remember that Great Eclipse. It was 8/21/17 to 4/8/24, and it's supposed to show up here in Cleveland 4/8/24, okay? Directly in the middle, like directly, like when you go half and half between these 2 days. Guess what day that is? Guess what day that is, y'all? December 14th, 2020. Just like that was in the middle, the when they locked us down regarding covenant, you know what I mean, covet. When they locked us down regarding it, that was in 2020. It's so confusing. That's the reason why I had to show y'all this video. But it was in 3/2020. Then over here with the Great Eclipse, they put it in our arms on the middle point of that eclipse. Isn't that interesting? That's interesting. I don't know if I'm tripping or what. God told me I was a teacher. I'm not a prophet. Don't call me no prophet. I ain't prophetically give this to you. I studied my butt off in love. And it was there. I didn't have to daydream. You get what I'm saying? It was all right there in this word was everything they was doing and when they was doing it. All right, y'all. Let me go back to it. I'm sorry. It's just been a rough road. I hope y'all love me anyhow. I'm gonna get back where I was supposed to be.
Where that the red horse might be riding on or after 3/17. Who is the red horse?
Right.
That is war.
Yeah.
Right? And then remember the beast, right? I'm just gonna throw a couple of things out. Is it okay? Can I throw a couple of things? I'm trying not to get too deep with you guys. But you gotta know these things. The Bible says that the beast is made up of 4 creatures. That is in Daniel and in Revelation. Revelation 13, right? It's made up of actually 3 creatures, but there was a 4th because there was an eagle's wings. They got plucked, right? Got killed. But here we go. Listen to this. When you look at the national animals, symbolic animals for different countries, China's a bear,
Russia's a bear. Everybody think China's a dragon. No, it's not. It's a bear. It's a panda bear. You know what I mean? So all of Asia is a bear, and Iran is a leopard. Right. And then there's another lion there, right? There's a lion, which could be UK, which could be Israel. Israel is a lion as well, right? Lion of Judah, right? So it's a lion as well.
Right.
So with that being said, know this: the beast system comes with a takedown regarding those 4 horsemen. That is the destruction of the eagle's wings. Is those 4?
Y'all know who the Eagles is. We America's the
They
Eagle.
were plucked, right? So I hope you guys, you got to read this for yourself. Just know this. It came down to a lot of, God told me too many coincidences are the truth.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So one of the coincidences is that March 17th is exactly in the middle of the year, from 9/16/2020 to 9/16/2021. Okay? With that being said, get ready, because that's the next horse to ride. They ride in order. So the next one will be war. After war comes famine. After famine comes the pale death.
Yeah, and hell follows.
And hell follows. Okay? So I just want to put that out there for you guys to be aware. I know, I see the different prophets, and I don't get me wrong, I'm not saying nothing against anybody because they know, but I'm telling you, if he did it before on March 17th, he could do it again. Okay?
Yeah.
There's nothing new up under the sun. March 17th and after, look for war.
Look for war.
Look for war.
And we know it's coming. You can see.
You can see it.
You can see the pot stirring. And
3/22.
You can see every
of 22. March 22nd,
these different, you can
2022,
see it.
they did.
Yeah.
And in Daniel, the bear, we just told you who the bear was. That's all of Asia. That ain't just one. That's all of Asia. Okay? But the bear was the one that was sent out to devour people. Right? I mean, because remember he had a rib in his mouth with flesh hanging out, and they told him to go out and devour.
Sure did.
And
So, I'm going to say this too. Mark my words on what I said. I need you guys to remember some things. And like I said, I'm not giving you no mojo hojo. This is in the Bible itself. The bear, all of Asia, go out to devour. What does go out mean? Go out is basically invade and devour, okay? Did y'all see what happened, I think it was like yesterday or something? I don't know. It was like a news clip, but it said China now has police stations in New York and Toronto. 3 in Toronto, 1 in New York. Interesting. They got now we know probably why private police was involved and why they said it was okay. But very, very interesting. And I know you got to remember, I know that, they're doing this like a crock pot on a purpose, But when you take that hawk-eyed view, you and I both remember back when the was up in Canada being forced to do drills. And people would say, it was all over the tube of how, Canadians driving past, showing videos of them running down the street. And remember what I said, that bail suspension thing that comes with a lot more than just bail suspension. It's at all of the Great Lakes states. Interesting. Like the coastal states, but specifically, like if you go down to Kentucky, they ain't on it. But if you are and guess who they're using? I'm gonna show you another video where we said it back then. They were using my people. Well, I can't even point because I'm so high yellow, but my people. Right? They were brainwashing and putting a spell over to make sure they made it to where people needed
them to suspend cash bail, which is the opposite of suspending corpus, or the same, but from the other end, right? So I'm just saying, we've been on the money. We ain't missed one beat, but let's keep going. I'm sorry. It's just. I'm going to throw another one on there too. In Daniel chapter 9, verse 25 on down, you know.
Oh, girl.
Come on now, I'm learning these. I know.
I still gotta look.
Yeah, but this is the one where it says, know this, that from the going out to the command to the rebuilding of Jerusalem, right? But he said, hold on, I want to tell you exactly what he said. I'm losing my train of thought because I was so happy about knowing the verse.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, that's okay. But what did he say there? He said something very, that war is the jump off and it will continue to the end. Pay attention to that. In Revelation 13, the first beast, what the first beast do? Create war. Daniel 9, verse 26 or 7, what happened there? War. So it's literally, the Bible is telling you what's next.
Right.
War. So it's very important to know that.
Right, it is. And so, and then the importance of during that time.
Very much important, yes.
Okay, so now we are going to talk about then, because of war, naturally you want to know like what you can do, how you can be prepared for that, right? And so that involves the putting on of the full armor of God. And one of them is, in particular, there's two that we're going to really talk about, and then Wisdom actually did a teaching on the full armor of God. So check that out.
So important.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about these two principles.
Okay.
One is the breastplate of righteousness, and how. Yeah, I'm going to let you say it in your own words, because you do a good job of that.
Well, I'll tell you this. Remember when we first got started? We first got started because God told us that the key to heaven was forgiveness.
Yeah.
Right? That no man can get to heaven without forgiveness. God is love. Jesus is forgiveness. No man can get to the Father without going through the Son. Nobody could stay in love without the willingness to forgive, right? So forgiveness was our biggest reason for even starting the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm, it was.
But I'll tell you this, God has switched. Righteousness in the tribulation is just as important as forgiveness was pre-trib.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So righteousness is literally the thing that's going to give you favor to survive the adversary. Well, the enemy, because the adversary can't hurt you. Enemies, humans can. You get me? So he said that righteousness is literally going to be what gives you the favor to survive. Like, we don't believe in luck, but if there was an opposite of luck, it
Or a
would be
synonym of
favor,
luck. Synonym
which
of
you
what I
get
meant.
favor through righteousness.
Right, and righteous behavior, a righteous mindset, a righteous heart.
Mm-hmm.
Those.
And
Yeah.
you know what? I gotta just add something, because like I said, this is the past, and now I'm looking back on it going, that's interesting, because this is true. God told me as long as we operate in his righteousness, we were untouchable. So when it said favor, at that point I don't get me wrong, my dad hadn't died yet. The trial hadn't started. Like, it was literally all brand new. I found that January 20th, and that was March. You know what I mean? So none of that stuff had happened. What is going on? Something's going on with me. I keep losing my train of thought. I have no clue what I was saying to y'all. Maybe that's because God want me to shut up and let y'all play the video, okay? I'll do it again if I remember. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So, I want to tell a story, something that happened with me and Faithful,
Yeah.
right? So God was talking to me one day, right? And I literally, it was the funniest thing, because I literally was like, God, I don't think there's a human word for what you just said to me. And so her and I went, I'm like, I gotta figure out how to explain this to you. So this, I wanna explain it to you as well, and hopefully you'll get it with me. Basically what God is saying, the type of righteousness that he's talking about is this right here. I'm about to explain it. So picture that you taught your daughter how to
That's
walk
it.
to
That's
school,
it. Now I
right?
remember
You
righteousness.
prepared her.
So long story short, because I'm gonna go past that story, but long story short, righteousness was gonna be literally the thing that keep us safe. Like when they start to deliver us up for persecution, which we've already semi been there, but we've been amazing. You know, like we ain't go out there and fight. We didn't go. You know what I mean? We literally sat kind of down to where, you know, none of that stuff that we thought was gonna happen, taking the court about the MOB and all that stuff. That stuff didn't have to happen. You get what I'm saying? So know this. People want to hear such a doom and gloom, a prophecy about what's coming. You got to see, we've been telling you guys how to stay safe through what's coming. Righteousness is literally going to be your luck, your shield, your buckler, the thing that's going to make the jailer let you go. You know what I mean? Doing what's right is going to be the thing that saves your life. And right by God. You get what I'm saying? Not right by man's, because if you do what's right by man's standards, you're going to go to jail. You get what I'm saying? But if you do what's right by God's standards, the jailer will let you go. Okay? So let me press play and go past this. You showed, because there's so many more. I don't know. Let me look at my notes, because I wrote them down.
Children, not really children, they're young adults now, but I try and tell them, you know, you can't think that all of a sudden you're gonna have everything you need when you haven't been doing anything before.
Right.
This is important, it's detrimental.
It is. It is. And especially when we're talking about things such as persecution. What happens when there is a prison guard, right? Because we're, like it literally says in Matthew, it says it everywhere though, but in Matthew 24, I think I wrote it on there somewhere. Matthew 24.
I saw it somewhere.
Well, in Matthew 24, it says, this is the time when you will be offered up to be killed, to be put to death. Okay, so this is that moment.
Matthew 24:15.
Matthew 24:15 is when he says, so when you see the abomination that causes desolation standing in the holy place, don't grab nothing, like run. Right. We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
But this is the part, there becomes a time, right, when it becomes about offering you up for death, okay? Now, if we're talking one human guard to another human guard or another human person, right? Then at some point, caring and loving that person might save your life. That's the kind of thing he was showing me in the tribulation, is that when the prison guard and the persecutor, the one who got your faith, your faith in their hands,
right?
You might have to go, you know what? What do you need? What type of faith? Think about it, Daniel in the lion's den, right? All of them, to where they literally got favor with the king. Yeah. And it was because you cared about what the king cared about. Right. You get what I'm saying? You cared about the needs of that other person.
Right.
So I'm just gonna move forward. That's very important, you know. And I'm gonna get back. Oh, that's my dog's barking. I'm gonna get back to doing more of like Bible teaching, because that's persecution. Back then, God said, like I asked God who was gonna persecute the saints, and He said other saints, other humans. Other humans are the ones that, and it's true. It is so true. Think about how many times you could tell, the Bible says though it tarry, wait on it. But your church said that was about your blessing being on the way. And here I come saying, no, no, no. He said, though the end of the world tarries, wait on it. I become a fear mongerer. And then if there's an adversary within you, it will attack me. Like it literally, like, who are you? Who you just want things to be you get what I'm saying? We gotta find a way to know this Bible enough and know Christ's nature enough to know when he is doing it. Or you get what I'm saying? Because it ain't me doing this. This is literally the word of God. Like, no, no, no. I mean the actual word, not the word of God. Like this was just a deep study on the word of God. So let's get on to the prophecy. All right, let's see. I think right there.
True Christians.
True Christians. And it ain't because we all special. I promise you. Remember, I just became a Christian, so it ain't like I don't think nobody's special though. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real.
No.
But it is because Christians, the truth will set you free. The Lamb was slain. Forgiveness was yours from the beginning of time, from the foundation of the creation of the earth.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So with that being said, we're the only ones who we literally said, God lives in our heart.
Yes.
He lives in our mind. He lives in our soul.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? We're the only ones to where if someone came to us right now and wanted us to do a ritual related to blood, that's Acts chapter 15, verse 20, right? Somewhere around there. But let's say somebody wanted us to do a sacrifice right now. As true Christians, we're going to look at them and go, nope, no. And let's be real. Hold up. I gotta, like, this was always about using the things that has happened, like, to be honest and learn from them. So you said, I said, if you are a true Christian, you will be like, no. Yeah, when it comes down to something like sacrificing someone, maybe, right? Maybe. I don't know what people would do, you know? But let's say, I just want to be transparent. Recently, you know, I was led astray, you know? I done lost a lot of weight, men coming around, right? So I done met a little man, right? All that little stuff. And next thing I know, I am putting down like everything God has ever taught. Like, and when I say putting down, I mean just like putting it down, like saying bad things. I don't mean that. I mean just putting it down, putting it on the table and deciding that I'm going to go do this for a little while, right? But God, now mind you, the entire time I was begging God to save me if I was going in the wrong place. Like literally be hanging out. Like, yeah. But then at the same point in my head, I'm literally like, God, I'm telling you, I'm going to need you to get me out of here. If you don't want me here, I'm going to need you to get me out of here, Lord. I don't know what to do. Having the courage to do that even then you're wrong. So that's what I'm wanting to tell you too is if you do mess up, having the courage in your wrong to keep calling on your Father. Just because you messed up doesn't make it a divorce. You get what I'm saying? Like how in the world, just because I made a mistake and wasn't perfect, as God is perfect. Oh, excuse me. I wasn't perfect, so now all of a sudden I gotta act like we weren't in love, like the me and God wasn't in love. No, the truth is we are in love, and even though I'm messing up, I'm begging for rescue while I'm doing it. So I just wanted to say something there because I noticed a few of these videos. You know, I was still a little green. Everything hadn't happened yet. I hadn't made my mistakes yet. You know, I was still under the blanket and security of have been in a marriage for 10 years. You get what I'm saying? So I've been feeling the need to tell young or in their prime, because I've got to admit, 42, my prime, right? But women in their prime and men, that though you may fall down, Have the courage to get back up and believe that God, that is love by faith. Now, you don't continue to sin, no. But when you get to that point where you go, nah, this is betraying God's trust. Do you got the courage to stand up then? And that's something, even though I've messed up, a few times, I've messed up in the funniest ways because I done ran out of places like, no. One minute I was down, next minute I went, no, that's against God. I can't do that. I gotta run. You know what I mean? So I'm saying cut yourself some slack, but don't forget to stay in love. Don't cut yourself no slack if you fall out of love, if you forget to forgive, if you don't learn the lesson from it, if you don't grab from it and do like supplication and apologetic and fasting, and if you're not willing to, really acknowledge who God is to you, you know, then I'm going to say, you better not mess up. Don't mess up because the tribulation is real and he'll be here any minute. But if you're willing to, like, if you do mess up, if you're willing to grab hold of him and run with him again, or the fact that let him be true and dust you off so that you can run with him again. Like, you can't stay in love with him unless you forgive yourself. So I just want to throw that out there because that's part of my life being this campaign is to let you know we fall down, but you got to have the courage to get back up again. Okay, that's all. God said that that ain't something we gotta do because he don't like disease meat.
Right.
Like he don't like you thinking about the difference between paying your bills and buying a goat to slaughter. This God told us. You know what? I want to get past this faster by just telling y'all. Also, when it comes to righteousness, right now, if I would have had this at the top of my mind frame when I did mess up, right? If I would have had righteousness at the top of my mind frame when I messed up, I probably wouldn't have messed up so bad because then I would have saw and raised my standard towards doing what was right by God, not right by me, right? Because the truth is I did what was right by me, but doing what was right by God is important to have on the forefront because, like I said in there, doing what's right guards your heart against regret. Your heart is your megaphone to God. Like he ain't gonna judge you for the things you did. He gonna judge you for how you felt about what you did. You get what I'm saying? That's important to know. Okay. So, oh, that was powerful. I'm sorry. And I keep losing my train of thought. But just know this, your righteousness is the thing that will guard you from making too big of a mistake. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Righteousness guards you from making too big. So if you try to do what's right, you might not fall too far. No, it was in Malachi. Let's get past this. Let's see where we at. Because there's some things about aliens in here. Right? There's a lot. And we were on point. You get what I'm saying? But no, I'm following righteousness. Oh, go forward. Hallelujah. And that part about following righteousness. One day I had to ask myself, God, am I following you? Like, am I serving you? Or am I serving righteousness? What am I serving? Because like when the church comes to you and let's say you're reading the Bible and you read the book of I don't know, like Kings or book of Elijah, the story of Elijah. Elijah's story had he slaughtered a lot of people. You get what I'm saying? And what if I was the reincarnation of Elijah? Or I'm not saying I am, no, I'm not, because I changed the story. You get what I'm saying? Like the way that they said that Elijah went about it, that's not the way I would have went about it. So at that point, you got to stop and go. Like, I see what the story says I'm supposed to do, but when I know your righteousness, when I know that you're going to do what's best for me, even when I deny thyself and pick up my cross and follow you, like what am I doing this for? You get what I'm saying? So don't follow the story, follow the righteousness of God, because you might have to do something different
than what the story tells you to do. And there, Elijah murdered a lot of people. Now, mind you, they were all prophets of Baal. The 450 prophets of Baal he killed. But at the same point, after Christ coming, he killed 450 people in the name of God. That ain't right. That ain't right. You get what I'm saying? So you gotta really just be able to add. That's why it's important for you to define who your God is. Yeah, I said your God. I know the God I serve. He is word. He is communication. He is the spirit, the creator, the one that invented me, the one who put the perfection in the fact my heart beating right now without me going beat, beat. You get what I'm saying? So I know who my God is. I know my God is forgiving. I know my God says, turn the other cheek. He says, go with them too. He says, solve matters quickly. I know who my God is. But a lot of us are listening to the pastor's God because you ain't read the book yourself. You got to read that book yourself. That's really what this boils down to. All right, but I can't skip over teaching because teaching is what got us here. This was never about prophecy. This was always about practical ways to survive what was coming. And that's a big one.
And that's the thing about it. Like I'm going to add on to that though, because I've seen different people, some of these YouTube channels, they're giving you pieces of the truth riddled with lies. Right. And honestly, some of the times when I'm watching the YouTube videos, it reminds me of that symbol of it's like a sword. The medical symbol is like a sword, but the snake is going up around, is entangled into it or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's what it reminds me of. So that's why you got to read it yourself. Because one time I saw them saying that Jesus really, that the devil created him. Now, we're talking about the actual gospel of peace. Meaning, I read every word that man supposedly said. Now, if I take it at face value, every red word that he said, how did evil come from the purest amount of good?
Right.
This don't make sense. No, that don't make sense.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. For every action is an opposite yet equal reaction. So therefore, if God is all of the love in the world, then the opposite would be all of the hate.
Right.
So you trying to tell me that love and hate got together
from the,
and love or better yet, no, not even love and hate. No, I said that wrong. Just hate.
Right.
Because that's what they said created.
Right. Just hate.
Right. So you trying to tell me that you need some love in there to get those types of words.
Right.
So just what we're saying is they're about to try to get you to dethrone your God.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to define your God. You need to know who he is.
Yes.
For yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that's the goal. The goal is to, what if I told you right now that their goal is to dethrone God? Mm-hmm. How does that make you feel? Do you love him enough to be like, oh no, I will do Martin Luther King type? You know what I mean? I will, because first off, everybody's his, so I ain't about to kill everybody either because I love him enough.
Look at them, wow.
Right.
I just read that story of Elijah not too long ago.
Right.
That's funny.
You out as doves amongst wolves, right? Sheep amongst wolves. Wait, I'm sending y'all
sheep amongst wolves.
But I'm sending you, but you got to be as harmless as a dove
and as wise as a serpent.
As a serpent, that's what it is. I'm sending you out as sheep amongst wolves. You got to be as harmless as a dove, but as wise as a serpent. Guess what? That actually matches that word that I was like, don't exist in the English language. Oh, yeah. That's that word. That's it. As harmless as a dove, but as wise as a serpent. Okay, we got to say that. So, with that being said, it's about to get to that level
where you gotta, like, if someone tried to dethrone God,
Right.
you gotta be willing to say, you know what? I don't love my life. I don't love my life like that to let you do that. I love God too much to let you do that to him. So you do what you may, but I'm his for life.
And let me tell you something, okay?
And death.
By our own, just remember this, by our own strength, we can never stand like that. We could never dare to stand if somebody said, renounce your God or I'm gonna chop your head off. By our own, we could never put our head in the guillotine and be like, okay. Wow. You have to call on the supernatural power of God. At that moment, pray like you have never prayed before in your life.
And when you know the word, guess what he said? Don't even worry about it. I'm going to talk for you. He said it. He said, when they offer you up to death, don't worry about what you're going to say. I'll talk for you. That's what he said.
That's the kind of God we serve. Yes, I knew it.
And I've seen it.
There's a verse for that.
There's a verse for that.
I said that. Remember, I was like, I know he's gonna do that. I just know he will. That's that verse.
That's the verse.
That's the verse.
But it's true. We do got. And I'm telling you guys, with the stuff that I've been going through, man, I know.
You see the way she looked at me like,
he's so real.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
He's standing before us real. He like realer than this paper. He's realer than I am sitting here. Like, that's how real he is. So he's worth trusting.
Yes,
he's so good. Let me tell y'all, I ain't got no job.
Still
but I'm
don't.
driving one of the most beautiful cars that make people come up to you.
Still
I
am.
don't know I'm paying the car note, but I'm paying it.
Yeah.
Okay?
There wasn't no insurance money, by the way. People think there was.
Okay?
There wasn't. I don't know how I am.
Prosecuting
Still don't know how.
Right now. But I'm able to be home and take good care of my daughter.
Right.
What is going on?
What's going on?
So God is real.
He real.
And I will say this, and this, I believe this is the reason that he calls me faithful is because I've always I love to see him. And I've always believed whatever he said, like if he said he parted the Red Sea, I believe the Red Sea. He parted the Red Sea. But my sister right here, seeing what he has done in her life.
I was the most doubtful.
I knew her.
Yeah. You tell the truth.
And to
you had to
see
prove it to me.
what he has done, like in it's bringing all those miracles, those collections of miracles that I read from other people. Like I get to watch it firsthand, and do you know, like not only does it build up her most holy faith, but it continues to build mine and to see the love and passion that she has for God. Not that it wasn't always there, but
it was always there. But I'll tell you this: I was always so laid back.
Right, let's go past this. I'm sorry, I was just chilling. All right, let's get to the aliens. I hope it's coming up shortly.
Right.
I'm telling you, the man said, "Well, we can't get you out of it."
Oh, they telling the story of the chariot, talking about how I ain't got no job. I ain't even had no paycheck stubs to get him in. But I did walk out of there with something I knew, like the car of my dreams, actually.
So with all that being said, you're right though. I was the most doubtful person, and now I'm so faithful. I'm ready to fight, and we can't fight. So let's get on to how we can't fight, because God told us don't fight.
Right? He said don't fight.
I haven't laughed this much in a long time.
He said don't fight. Okay, so the next.
No, we didn't do the one where he said don't fight.
Yeah, we did.
All right, I don't know.
necessity. I know this got to be rough on you, but I got.
Okay, let's get there. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find it, y'all. Thank you for your patience.
Ironed you up until the Antichrist did like this. The Antichrist went. He was on his way.
So it was, you know, also I'll show y'all that later, but you know, it's important not to
So
believe
what
in
we do,
YouTubers
water,
without studying them, because some of them are
food,
MK Ultra.
and
Some of them are.
warm.
They're out. They're
Water,
plants.
food, warmth,
Carrigan's one of
clothing,
them.
right? These are important. You don't have much more time there.
So if you can get a generator.
If you can, look at what's going on in Texas. Look on the water level. Get water purifying tablets.
Hold on. Everybody know what's going on with water. Up here, we just had the same exact company that put lead in Flint do the same thing in the Hudson. Water is drying up all over the place. God has been saying food, water, warmth, and ways to purify water, not just water, getting water, but getting ways and learning how to purify water. Now, mind you, it's coming like a crock pot, like slow boil. You get what I'm saying? But that was 2021, and water was plentiful in 2021. Right now, we was telling the truth.
Okay?
Right.
Get water purifying tablets. You know, or the straw, life straw.
Right.
You know, just definitely, but that time is almost up.
Right, yeah, pretty soon, if you can still find it, you probably can, maybe, I don't know. We got ours so long ago that we just, hopefully, it'll still be there for those that maybe haven't, right?
I hope. So with that being said, physically, you got about 2 weeks. Because the Bible says when war comes, the end will come.
War
like
wasn't here yet. I was wrong.
Okay.
War's here now,
Conquer
but
took a
it
long
wasn't here
time.
then.
Yeah.
But when war comes, we talking like a year.
Wow.
Now that's
Another
true.
year.
It's about another year.
Yeah, and think about a flood. Think about how quickly a flood comes upon people.
He says it several times too. He literally,
does.
like as he said, as soon as the war happened, it's gonna go quick.
Yeah.
He said, Terry, but wait on it. When it comes, it's gonna come.
It's gonna come like a flood. Yeah.
And oh, that's another good one. Can I just pause and say that one real quick? Though it tarry, wait for it. Y'all been to church and y'all thought that was about y'all blessing. No, God, if you read the Bible, God was actually talking about the end of the world.
Yeah.
It was in
He said it was
Malachi.
gonna feel like it took a long time.
I think it was in
But
Malachi.
see, that's those false prophets taking bits and pieces
to make
and
their
making
point.
them fit into what their agenda. Just perfect example of dogma.
That's dogma. Yeah. So that's important. Read that verse, because that verse was talking about the end of the world. And everybody thought it was talking about a blessing.
I
thought it was talking about a blessing too.
Around the
Now,
corner.
blessings on the way. Though it tarry, wait on.
I know it's about to come up. That's why I don't want to fast forward and miss it.
Okay.
But that's.
All right.
I'm sorry, I'm out the house. I haven't been out the house in a while.
Okay, so then let's talk about like some other things that we can do to help prepare our families and our grandchildren,
important
our
too.
children, our grown children. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I want
Let's
you
talk about that.
to think about the Little House of the Prairie. Do y'all remember that movie, that TV show, Little House on the Prairie? Where they didn't have TVs, so whatever time they showed you a clip, the mom would be reading to the baby. The kid would be saying, hey, I'm done with dinner, can I go read? Right, because there was no TV. There was nothing else to do. So when the child is young, you read to them, right? But when the child is older and can read themselves, have them read to you, right? So it is time to we will be held accountable for not introducing our children to God.
Oh, yes.
Okay? So it is time to get them to read the red words to you. get them to read Proverbs to you. You ain't gotta read them to them. You can literally, I know, people got jobs, and mind you, take it from me. I was one of those parents that got jobs, and when I come home, I just want to be quiet. I don't want to do all that. But when God showed me, you ain't gotta do nothing. Hand her the book and tell her to read to you. And then it was kind of like, oh, you're right, I'm just being lazy. Because she wants to read to me, right? So here's the book. Please read the red words to me. And if you don't understand what it means, ask me, I'll tell you. Simple, right?
I gotta say something about this. I'm so glad, many of you have adult children, and through this process, we all become friends, or I've met a lot of you. So you have adult children, but don't know how to tell them, or they don't believe you, or something along those lines. I want you to know this. I am so grateful that I did not keep this from my daughter whatsoever. I did not. I sat with her and I taught her about it, and I showed her each miracle as they came, each thing that happened as it came. And I tell you right now, I really love who and how, like who my daughter is and how she's conducting herself in the tribulation. Meaning, like, I don't have to convince her that any of this is real because she's been there. And my sons. One son, unfortunately, is estranged, the same one, Isaiah. But my other son, and I know Isaiah believes me. Matter of fact, he is. Hold on. I love him, but I gotta go. Okay, I know that messed up the whole thing. I'm so sorry. She was, you coming? You coming? I'm coming. I gotta go. But go back and look at this video. There was a place where I said, God said, if they ever say that little g gods, that aliens were real, that you need to know that they're little g gods, and to run and hide, because once they make that disclosure, you need to know that's is a foot, not the kind from 1840 something. No, no, no. We're talking 1300 AD is a foot. Well, that was back March 7th, 2021, and I wrote it down here. They made their disclosure, right? Their disclosure on oh, guess what day? On 1/8. On 1/8. 2022. Remember, I was terrible. Like that's the anniversary of when everything happened to me. Also, I put up a video because at that same time on Facebook, I didn't do it here, but on Facebook, I wrote about how something was going to happen at the Chatham Islands, the Tonga area. And that if it didn't happen that day, that meant time travel wasn't really possible all like that. But if it happened after that, then yeah, you got to know something was about to happen there, because that's where time begins. They got a different date, but the same sun as Hawaii. You get what I'm saying? So long story short, on the 15th, Tonga blew up. Now, because I thought the end of the world was coming on the 8th, none of those prophecies that we were saying there happened. No, they all happened on time. But I'll come back and show you the rest later. I got to get to my daughter. I love you guys. There's quite a few more. We got to go back through these because there's certain things he said. It's time to hide. He said, once they make that disclosure, you got to hide. All right? So there's some very important things that he said. So I love you guys. I got to run. I hope that you enjoyed, going back down memory lane. It's hard. It's somber for me because it's been a journey, man. It's been a journey. And then to sit under, like, I lost all my friends, my family. I'm literally like the weird girl, like the crazy one with the end is near, like all that have been for the past 3 years. Like nobody, like I don't got nobody to talk to, nobody to hang out with, no, you know what? I'm gonna take y'all with me on the phone because I gotta run. But I don't got nobody I hang out with, You know, nothing like that. And, you know, family members don't speak to me because I told everyone don't get the mob. And, you know, just all of that. And to be here 3 years later, I don't know where my keys at, so I ain't gonna be able to run like that. But to be here 3 years later it's insane. You know, and to have watched it come true like that is insane. As a matter of fact, let me close this like this. So I'm gonna let y'all go because I ain't gonna be able to get out of here because I gotta get the dogs in the house and stuff. I thought I would be able to take y'all with me, but it ain't gonna work that way. Let's lock that door. But I love you guys, and I hope you see. I hope you see. And I can't wait to come back and tell you about the apocalyptic paintings. It's gotten good. I've gotten downright good at it. And oh, there's the chariot is still there. The chariot is still alive and well. I can't believe it either. I've been waiting like, oh Lord. Like I hope you keep me. Let me put these dogs away. All right, talk to you guys soon. God bless. All right, bye.